The story starts with Parker and his friends rolling up to a bank for a clean, quick heist. On paper, the plan sounds simple, where they will get the money, split it, and vanish before the cops even catch a whisper. You cannot do the heist without your best friend, so Philly, his trusted friend, is right there beside him. Everything runs smooth until a man outside, there with his family, spots what's going on and decides to play his own game. He plans to rob the robbers. Sounds thrilling, but who knows, it's gonna end up scary for him. When Parker and his team step out with bags full of cash, that man opens fire from across the street. The bullets rip through the air, and Philly goes down hard. In the middle of the chaos, the stranger grabs the money and drives off with his family, thinking he just scored big. But Parker doesn't let things slide that easy. He jumps into his car and gives chase, following the thief all the way to a horse racing track. After a long pursuit, Parker catches up, shoots the man dead, and walks away with the money. Seeing the wife and kids standing there frozen, he leaves them a small share and drives off into the night. That's pure Robin Hood stuff.
Give me my fucking...
Meanwhile, the surviving crew gathers at their hideout to divide what's left. Philly is barely breathing, and Jane steps in to patch him up. She looks calm until she drops her act, pulls out a gun, and shoots everyone in sight. Parker realizes the only way to save his life is to act lightning fast. He dives out of a window and crashes hard onto the ground, but somehow stays alive. Jane takes the bags and disappears without a trace. That's robbers being robbed for the second time.
Yeah. Makes you think I want. Gun!
Later, Parker wakes up in the care of a woman who found him half dead on the street. Soon after, he learns that Philly didn't make it. He goes to see Philly's wife. One look at him tells her everything. The silence between them is cold and heavy. She tells him to make it right, to settle the score, and Parker walks out ready for blood. Meanwhile, Kincaid reports to his boss Lozini. He mentions Parker was seen near the racetrack. Lozini doesn't flinch. He just says they'll deal with it. Somewhere out in the woods, Parker contacts Grofield, an old partner who now runs a small cafe. Grofield still owes him a favor. Parker asks for a lead on a man named Reyes, the one who sent Jane to join their crew. Grofield finds him fast, and Parker tracks Reyes down at a bar. The man's drunk and nervous, but before he can say much, gunfire tears through the place. Reyes goes down instantly. Parker clears out the attackers, grabs one alive, and drives off. Under a flickering light, Parker forces the truth out. The man tells him Jane's hiding at an unfinished building outside the city. Parker heads there and finds Jane with a man named Bosco, planning another major job. Parker wastes no time. He shoots Bosco dead. Jane breaks down, shouting that Bosco had the plan for their next big score, a $500 million golden statue called the Lady of Antioch.
You, how'd you get in?
Shut the fuck up and sit down. Stop talking.
Hey, just...
Last time, I promise.
Resting in a sunken ship, she explains that the country's army chief, Delapage, was involved, planning to fake the statue's recovery for the United Nations while secretly cutting a deal with Lozini's crew. Hearing it all, Parker's revenge starts turning into opportunity. He decides to team up with Jane and Grofield. Together they prepare to steal the Lady of Antioch for themselves. They craft a flawless replica for a clean swap, but Parker doesn't care much for tricks. He wants the real thing. The problem is, Bosco's original plan is hidden somewhere, and the only person who might know is Bosco's boyfriend. Parker and Grofield track him down at a bar, trying to pull the details out, but the man refuses to talk. Before they can press him, Kincaid and his men storm in. The place explodes with gunfire, glass shattering everywhere. Parker fights his way through, slips into a small back room stacked with teddy bears, and catches his breath. The teddy catches Parker's eye. It's heavier than the rest, and something about it feels off. He slices it open and pulls out a rolled-up blueprint, the entire heist plan hidden in its stuffing. Finally, Parker has what he's been chasing. He gathers his crew and spreads the papers across the table, every move mapped out to perfection. The company, he explains, plans to haul the treasure from the sea and load it onto a train headed for the capital. But before Lozini's men can get their hands on it, Parker's team will hijack the job from the inside. The setup is bold. 2 men will sneak into the control room and push the train's speed beyond safe limits. Grofield will crawl under the tracks and cut the gas pipes that control the brakes. Stan will be waiting with a stolen truck to load the gold once the train derails. The crash will look like a tragic accident to everyone else, while Parker's crew walks away rich. The crew nods, hyped but nervous. It sounds perfect, almost too perfect, and that's where cracks start to show. Greed sneaks in like poison. Some of the men turn on Parker, tie him up, and accuse him of planning to take everything for himself. Parker stays calm, warning them that they're destroying the plan before it even begins. But they don't listen. They've already tipped off Lozini's men, thinking they can cut a private deal. Just as they're about to finish him off, Jane storms in. She shoots the traitor without hesitation and frees Parker. Together they make their escape through the back alley, smoke and gunfire chasing them into the night. Now Parker knows Lozini has moved first. The heist is already in motion. He rounds up whoever's still loyal, a half-drunk, half-broken crew, and heads straight for the rail line. Two of his men slip into the control cabin, take out the conductors, and push the throttle to its limit. Grofield crawls under the line and slices through the brake system. Stan drives the truck into position, ready to load the gold. Everything clicks. For a moment it feels like victory, but fate's got other plans. The train doesn't derail where it should. Parker shouts through the radio to keep pushing the speed. Moments later, at the next sharp curve, the train explodes off the rails and crashes into the valley below. They rush through smoke and fire, break open the cargo crates, and freeze. Instead of gold, the boxes are filled with rocks. Lozini had outplayed them from the start, replacing the treasure before the heist even began. Sirens echo in the distance. The crew scatters into the dark, bruised and furious. Jane sinks to her knees, whispering that it's all over. The plan failed, and they've lost everything. Parker, still catching his breath, smirks through the chaos. He tells them it isn't over yet. Lozini must have already sold the real treasure. If they can track down the buyer, they can steal it back. Even if they only recover the Lady of Antioch statue, they'll still be set for life. The crew regroups, agreeing to the risky idea. Parker starts digging. He hunts down one of Lozini's men, but finds him already shot and barely clinging to life. Nearby, a frightened woman spills a clue. She heard them talk about a man named Paul. That's all Parker needs. He uses his contacts, his network, and every shady lead until he tracks Paul down, a billionaire, smug and untouchable. Parker doesn't waste time. He kidnaps him, blindfolds him, throws him into a truck, and demands to know where the statue is. Paul cracks fast, trembling as he confesses that the real Lady of Antioch is stored in his private vault, a fortress no one can break into. Parker just smirks. Breaking in is what he does best. That night, Parker and his crew hit the facility hard. Guards drop fast, alarms blare, and the air fills with smoke. Deep inside, Parker blows open the vault and pulls out the statue. But before he can leave, Paul manages to slip away and calls Lozini. Within minutes, Lozini and his men are on their way. Parker loads the statue into a truck and speeds off. Lozini's cars chase close behind, bullets tearing through the highway night. The gunfight is brutal. Sparks fly, tires screech, and in the chaos, the statue's chain breaks. It tumbles off the truck, rolling across the road. Lozini's men snatch it up and drive away, thinking they've won. Lozini delivers the statue to Paul, telling him to pay up by morning. Paul can barely contain his excitement, but it doesn't last. As he examines the artifact, he realizes it's fake. Fury hits him like a punch. Parker played them both. Back at the vault, Parker returns in silence. He blows open another section, the real one. He had switched the vault numbers earlier, making Lozini chase the wrong target. While they stole the fake from Vault 1, the real statue sat untouched in Vault 3. Parker grabs the authentic Lady of Antioch, but before he can leave, Lozini storms in. He mocks Parker, calling him clever but cornered. Parker stays calm, saying if he can't have the statue, no one will. He tells Lozini that the whole place is wired with explosives. Lozini panics, realizing Parker has already set the trap. Parker presses the detonator. The explosion shakes the ground, fire swallowing everything. The statue shatters into 1,000 pieces, and Parker escapes through the flames.
This way.
Sure.
Later, in a quiet hideout, the crew gathers, covered in soot and silence. Everyone looks defeated, thinking the job ended in ashes. Parker sets a small bag on the table, unzips it, and smiles. Inside are handfuls of shining diamonds. The crew stares, stunned. He tells them the statue had been filled with them all along. He took them before blowing it up. Relief turns to laughter and the tension breaks. They divide the diamonds evenly, and for the first time, everyone feels alive again. That night, Parker returns to his hotel. Jane waits for him, watching the news. The broadcast announces that General Delapage has been exposed and overthrown. Her mission is complete, her country safe at last. She turns to Parker and asks him to stay, to start over. But Parker's face doesn't soften. He reminds her of her betrayal, the blood she spilled, the trust she destroyed. He knows she's still reaching for a gun, even now. Her hand trembles, and she breaks down, tears running down her face, telling him she loves him, that she wants to make things right. Parker steps closer, quiet and steady. He tells her he likes her too, just not enough to forget. A gunshot rings out, and the room falls silent. Later, Parker visits Philly's widow. He tells her it's over, Jane's gone, the debt's paid. She gives a faint smile, finally at peace. In the final scene, Parker sits with Grofield at a dimly lit bar on New Year's Eve. Fireworks burst outside as they share a quiet drink, laughter echoing over the music. Parker leans back, watching the colors light up the sky. For once, his world isn't about revenge, betrayal, or stolen time, just a rare fleeting moment of peace.